Hello and welcome to Soul Alchemy, your podcast to help you remember your true power and unfold all of your potential. Today's episode will be an energy update for the year 2024. And I originally did not plan to do an energy update um, just because a lot of people are doing it and there is a lot of stuff out there for energy updates. And I didn't have the intention of doing anything like that. But my guides have been very clear, and I have been receiving very clear signs and messages that it is really important that we do an energy update here in this podcast and that I channel an energy update. Since every time a person channels, what they channel comes through in a very specific frequency that can only be received by the people listening through that person channeling it. So every time I channel something, even if it's the exact same thing that someone else somewhere on the planet channeled and shared, you will receive it differently from me than you will receive it from that person because it carries my own specific frequency. And the same is true about you. So when you channel something, even if it's the exact same information that your friend channeled, people will receive it differently from you than they will receive it from your friend, as you carry a different frequency and you bring in your frequency with the channeled message. We are never just bringing in the frequency of the message. We are always adding our own specific frequency into the message, which makes it such a powerful, powerful way to support people around us, because we are not just bringing through the gifts that come from the higher realms, but into that we also add our own gift, the frequencies that we came here to bring to this earth and that are our gift, our specific soul gifts. These frequencies get added into the message and are received by the other person. And so that's something that the guides explained to me very excessively this month, since I was so insisting on, nah, I don't want to do an energy update, that I ended up being convinced and doing an energy update with you here today now. So, this episode is coming a little bit late compared to the usual rhythms. I'm sorry about that. I have been down with the flu for 10 days. And so today is the first day where I'm actually having my energy back to the degree that I can say I can safely work and know that it will not throw me back. And this is super interesting that I was out with the flu the last 10 days because it kind of perfectly shows the first theme that came through for 2024. And so just to shortly clarify that, when I channel, I'm directly plugged into source energy, but the messages come through for me through my ascended masters, through my spirit guides, through my teams of light, and through my higher self. But I only channel source energy in that sense. It is just the way it speaks to me is through those those other channels, those higher dimensional beings. But I plug always directly into source. So this is pure source frequency that comes through and is translated by my spirit guides, ascended masters, teams of light, and my higher self. And so I channeled for 2024, and four themes came through for the year. And then there is an overall energy that we will be feeling and noticing this year very strongly, that I want to also shortly look at with you in this episode. And so, as I said, my sickness is kind of like representative of the first theme that came through in this channeling for this year of 2024. And this first theme is a big clearing. there is a huge purging happening. It's sort of like the last cuff up after 13 years of purging now. Like more than that, but especially the last 13 years, there was a major purge happening. Like it was really, really feelable on all levels. We've seen stuff happening in the collective. We have been going through massive processes on a collective level. Things have been falling apart, systems have been falling apart, and we've been shown the purge on a collective level really strongly. And so, what's happening now is that this purging process is sort of coming to an end. And like, there's the last little pieces that we now need to get rid of. And that can feel very harsh in a way. It can be like really feel really radical because it needs to finish now, and there's this energy of that is pushing us to finish our purge now, and that is pushing us to really unblock now from all fear-based constructs and ideas and concepts we were still plugged into, and we're kind of like being wherever we were still holding on to those fear based ways of being in this world, we're kind of being like unrooted and pulled out and unplugged in a rather radical way now. It's a rather intense and radical energy that is coming through because we need to let this go. Like we need to let go of fear based existence and for what is coming now, because what is coming now will lead us into this next paradigm, and fear cannot come there with us. Those fear based ways of existing in this world, thinking, feeling, and relating to our world, they cannot come with us. And so we are going through a major radical purge on a collective level. We're being forced out of any leftover fear based ideas of existing on this planet where we're still engaging, where we're still trauma bonding with our reality. Everywhere where we're still doing that is being shown to us in a pretty radical way. So we can let go, we can clear that out, and we can prepare to receive the new that is coming for us this year. So this is also happening on a DNA level, so on a physical level, on a body level. Our DNA constructs are being upgraded. Like our DNA is radically upgraded, and like everywhere where we're still existing in and still having this carbon based, fear based DNA active within our system and leading our life is now being removed and being cleared out and like being transformed and upgraded into crystalline DNA. And this is something that we feel on a very physical level. And that's why I said it was so kind of interesting that I, right before, actually, right away, when I was convinced, okay, I'm going to do the energy update, the next day, I got the flu. And I was knocked out for 10 days. And so I think it's just so meaningful. What that shows is really the upgrading of our physical DNA, and that can often show in physical illness. So you get a flu, or you get another sickness, you get another virus, you get something, and that knocks you out for a while. And that is the process of your body purging and releasing and upgrading your DNA to a higher frequency. And we are now really moving into crystalline frequencies with our DNA, and we are really leaving the old carbon based constructs of DNA behind us. And so that needs to happen on a physical level. So supporting your physical body in every possible way will be great for you in this process right now. And this process will be feelable until March. So until March, and since March until March in the northern hemisphere, we're pretty much still in winter season. It's a very good idea to support your body on a physical level in however way that feels good to you. Eat good food, eat organic food, drink healthy living, good waters. Make sure you get enough oxygen and movement. Breath work is a great way to support your body. Sports, movement, go to the sauna, whichever way feels good for you to support your body is like key right now to help yourself move through those DNA upgrades in the best possible way and the easiest possible way. And if you get sick anyway, don't worry. It's actually not a bad thing when we get those viruses, when we have those things from an energetic point of view. It's just that for these upgrades, they are so massive for a system that it needs us to like do nothing for a while. And our bodies getting sick in this form of way is a way of like the system saying, okay, we'll knock you out for a while so that from a mind point of view, you can't make us do stuff, so that we have the time to upgrade now, because this takes more of us than we can do on a normal daily basis. In your normal daily routine, we got to make sure that you're resting and that you're staying in a non-dewy position for a while so we can finish those upgrades. And so just be present, and maybe you feel stuff going on in your system. For me, it was a major throat chakra upgrade, for example, that I could really be present with and go through and got myself energetic support with as I was moving through it. That's another thing you can do when you notice there's some specific theme coming up for you where your body is struggling with the upgrades or where it's especially focused. Get yourself some energetic support, and yeah, get yourself some help through this process. That is always a great way. And then the other thing that we might want to look at in this process is that as the carbon based DNA gets cleared and cleansed and level up leveled into crystalline DNA, it can be that there's a lot of ancestral and past life stuff coming up to be cleared and released. So looking into ancestral and past life healing can be super helpful in this time now too. And just know that it's a very normal thing that when you're going through this process, that things, people, stuff that has been in your life for a very long time might really unexpectedly leave your life. And these can be people, these can be like things, like you used to have a hobby that you used to do all the time and you used to love, and from one day to the next you're like, I don't like doing this anymore. It can be jobs. Often in this phase people lose their jobs or choose to quit their jobs because they're ready to step into this next chapter on their path. So it can be anything. And there can be really sudden changes in our reality, in the way we experience our reality. And just, it doesn't have to happen. And it doesn't mean that you're not up leveling if it doesn't happen. It just means there was nothing big for you to in your reality that still needed to be let go of for you to step into this more crystalline, higher frequent existence here on earth. And just so you know that when it does happen, this is part of you being lifted up into a higher frequency. And even if it might feel challenging in the moment, it is for your highest good and it will make your life better. So support yourself by finding your center, grounding yourself, staying centered within yourself, staying connected to your core essence, and staying grounded and navigating this process from that place, because it is all in our highest good as this frequency of crystalline upleveling is coming through. And then the other theme that came through for the year is the theme of the emerging of the new earth frequencies on a much bigger scale. So we've been starting to feel the newer frequencies rising up and like coming up and out Since a few years now, especially in the last 2 years, they have been very strongly present in the collective field, but they were much more energetically feelable and not yet tangible in our collective reality. And that is what is going to change. So, New Earth has fully grounded in, landed, integrated, and now it's birthing. As the death process of the old is coming to an end, New Earth is birthing. And now, also in our physical reality, in our societal reality, in our cultural realities, we will see these New Earth frequencies emerging and creating new structures and new realities and new institutions in which we can tangibly interact on a much more physical level with the new earth reality that is being built right now. And this process is happening through these new societal structures and like institutions and beliefs and whole ways of existing, whole realities grounding and like becoming physically tangible and really birthing into physical reality. And what we might notice as we are engaging with these new earth frequencies and these new earth structures that come up and out and that we can engage with on a tangible level is that we might have to, and we might be inspired to uplevel our own life to match these new possibilities so we can actually receive them and are open to them and engage with them and, yeah, exist in this new way. So we might see where we need to shift and uplevel our own thinking and feeling and perception of reality to match these possibilities. And we might have to challenge many beliefs on what structures and institutions on a societal level can mean for our lives. And there we might have to look at our mind fields very clearly. If you didn't know, you have three wisdom centers in your body, and one of those three wisdom centers is the mind field. The other two are the heart field and the sex field. So the mind field is where your mind energy is stored, the heart field is where your heart energy is stored, and the sex field, of course, is where your sexual energy is stored. And these wisdom centers are um okay, sorry, little hiccup in the channel. These wisdom centers are where we can really see and like connect from a more energetic point of view to what we're experiencing in our physical bodies and in our physical realities. And in that sense, like our sex centers and our sex fields and our heart fields have already aligned with those new earth frequencies and with those new earth realities and what new earth will look like on a more cultural and structural and institutional and societal way. But our mind fields might have to level up still. And so we want to have a good look at our mind fields when it comes to engaging with those new earth realities, structures, and institutions, and see where we might have to level up and like maybe shift and clear our mind fields from beliefs, systems, constructs, ideas that do not serve the process of us tangibly experiencing new earth now in our realities and in our cultures and in our collective experience on Mother Earth. And so, as much as I don't like to just focus on mind reprogramming, when it comes to these new earth realities and being able to experience them and engage with them and feel them and have them in your life on a tangible level, I do suggest strongly to have a good look at your mind field and question your beliefs that you have about society, about structures, about institutions, about culture, and have a good look what you might believe there. um, to see where you might have to let go of some limiting and yeah, beliefs that might be constrict your ability to receive these new earth structures and facilities that are being built right now. And so one thing you can do is journal, like ask yourself, what do I believe about institutions as a general thing? Like for me, for example, would right away come up is a way of is a like a tool, a societal tool to suppress individuality, for example, is something that comes up for me first. So we can really look at where we have those constructs and ideas, or what do I believe about schools, what do you believe about what do I believe about society as a collective, what do I believe about culture, and like really see where you might have beliefs that might not allow you to receive these new earth realities fully and completely in the way you could if you'd let go of those beliefs. And so for example, if new earth institutions are institutions that serve unity consciousness and that serve the collective and that are to empower the individual and the community and create communities that are interdependent instead of dependent or hyper independent, that are interdependent and that are supportive and that are connected and that follow the true law of nature, which is the law of mutual help and collaboration. And so for example, this is something that I could then shift my mind field towards, instead of believing that institutions are there to suppress the individual. So have a good look at what you believe about the physical reality around you on a mind-based level, and how that might limit your ability to receive those new earth unity consciousness realities that are coming right now and that are becoming tangible right now. And so, with that, let's move to the next chapter, or to the next theme, better said. And the best thing you can do, just shortly turning back to the theme from before, the best thing you can do is really look at where you close your mind to something, where just the idea of something being created, for example, when someone says there is this institution that is built on, or there is this school that focuses on bringing out the individual's gift and supporting them, and not just making them study some making the kids study some unnecessary stuff, but that completely focuses on each individual's child's gifts and abilities and helps them to like bring those forth, while allowing all their interests to be cared for as they receive information in all of their interests, but especially are supported in developing their gifts. And for example, if your reaction to hearing that is that can't be, then you know you have a lot of limiting and constricting beliefs around the topic. So really watching where your mind is open to possibilities and where you automatically close to even the idea of something existing, because that's where you need to look at constricting beliefs. And so this is just another tip as you're going through the process of like really restructuring your mind field. And now we go on to the third theme. The third theme came through as three words. And I just love the way it came through, because it literally came through as an expression of these words in the energy and in the vibe. And the three words were water, flow, and play. And I literally could hear a river a running river as a sound. I could feel the flow of it, and I don't know if you ever noticed, but when you listen to a wild river, especially here in the mountains where I live, and there's quite some currents, Often the sounds that the river make, they sound like a giggle. It sounds like the river is giggling. And so I could hear the laughter of the river. And so this year is in a lot of ways guided by water frequency. And it's coming through to reconnect us with the original blueprint for all life on Earth, which is based on water frequency, because the original blueprint for all life on Earth is flow. Life is meant to flow, just like water. It's meant to flow all the time, everywhere. It's meant to flow through us. We are meant to flow through our lives. Life is not meant to feel restricting, stuck in resistance. That is not the original blueprint idea. Of course, we chose this experience. We wanted to see what it feels like to experience when we have the stuckness, when we get into constricting feelings, and when we feel resistance in our lives. This is all something we chose, but now we're being like guided back to experience this original way in which life was intended to exist, which is the way of water, which is this state of being in flow, being in ease, being in play. Because when we just allow life to flow through us, and when we just allow us to flow through our lives, there is this energy of play. There is this energy of lightness and joy in everything. When there is no resistance, there's play. There is no seriousness, there's no heaviness, there's just play, lightness, flow. And that's why water often giggles. Because in the state that it is in this pure flow state, there's nothing but lightness and playful energy. And so I invite you to check that out. Maybe you have a beautiful little stream somewhere where you can go to and like listen to the water. And if not, you can just get a little a little room fountain. There's those little fountains that you can put within inside the house, and where you put water in, and then the water is like coming out of the fountain, and just listen to the sound that the water makes, and you will hear those giggles. And so that can be really supportive in like tapping into this playful flow energy and like reconnecting on that. As you might know, sound is a very powerful way to shift our energetic field and to shift our being. A sound and frequency is the original energetic way, and is a very, very easy way to shift the energy within us. And so, really utilize that possibility to connect with water in this form or way, and to come into that frequency of play and of flow and of lightness, and align your whole being with that. And so, on a collective level, we are being aligned with that energy now within this year. We will feel it very strongly. We are brought back to that state, that natural state of being in this world, that state of flow and play, and this water frequency of ease. And to support you in that process, you can also do another thing, and the guides really insisted on that, is make play a priority this year. Like, make play a priority in your life. And it doesn't mean you have to go play exactly like a little child, though I do suggest that as a way of getting back into the state of play if you're struggling with it. If you are someone who has like lost the connection to the feeling and the concept of play, actually go play like a little child or play with little children to help you come back into this frequency and into this energy and into this flow of play. And just make play a priority. So find things that make you feel, bring you in that state of play, that bring you into flow, or just feel playful, feel flowy, and do things like that every day. And if you can, just learn to approach your whole life, like everything in your life, with this playful energy, learn to bring, and it can be a process, bring that more and more into your daily life. Like, can you approach making breakfast as play? Like, you go into the kitchen. What would the little child do? Oh, we are playing house, and I'm the mommy making breakfast, like with that attitude. Oh, what could we make delicious today? What delicious food can we bring out for breakfast? And like really let yourself like play with that, and play also with other things in your life if you can, in a form or way that feels aligned and that feels good for you, and try to find ways to really connect with that energy of playfulness in your life, and let that be your guide. Let this be your guide, this playful vibe, this playful energy. The more you can connect with it, the better. The more you can be in a state of play, the better. And just learn to connect also with the emotional feeling of being in a state of play again, and use it as a compass. So, this is really about seeing every opportunity as a chance to play. Like, look at life through the eyes of a child, and every opportunity, every chance that opens to you is a chance to play. And does this feel like something you want to do? Does this feel like play to you? Do you feel like a child thinking, oh my god, that's the coolest game ever, I want to do that? Or do you feel like, I don't like this game? And really let your inner child speak. Connect with your inner child and let your inner child speak in those moments and show you what is for you and what isn't. Because the guiding force this year it's shifting in a way, and it's becoming a lot more focused. I'm really sorry. I'm nosebleeding right now, so you might hear actually the tissue that I'm using to sort of make sure that I'm not dripping my blood all over. I'm really sorry about that, but I don't want to interrupt this because I'm really into channeling right now. So, yeah, we're really being shifted into returning to these natural states of being, and this playful flow is the compass now. Like, wherever you feel flow, wherever you feel play, wherever you feel this, this feels good, I want, this feels like fun, is where you need to go. And if something feels the opposite of that, like heavy resistance, like, and your inner child's like, that's not a game I like to play, kind of in that vibe, stay away from it. It's not for you. Not everything has to be for you. And yeah, just follow that flow, follow that playful vibe, and see what carries those playful energies and frequencies for you. And that's really your compass to where you need to go next, where your next aligned action is on your soul path and on your mission. And yeah, that is the frequency of play that is coming through this year, and that is going to anchor on a much deeper level into our collective consciousness and bring us back to that natural flow, to that natural state, and be around water. Be around water as much as you can, especially flowing water in whichever form. Like I said, you can even just get a little room fountain, house fountain, to just have flowing water around you all the time. The more you can be around flowing water this year, the easier it will be for you to align with that frequency and integrate that within your being, and like wash away whatever is there left of resistance towards living life in that way. And the last theme that came through for this year is the theme of peace. And that is super interesting for me because my word for the year is peace. And as this came through, I was kind of like, guides, is this my personal stuff coming through? Because peace, this is my word for the year. This is what I really want to focus on this year. And so I was really confused about that coming through for us as a collective theme. But the guides were very clear, and they were like, nope, nope. you just happened personally to align with this big theme of this year as your driving force, as your driving energy throughout this year. But this is a theme that is coming through for the collective. And so, yeah, that was very interesting for me to notice. And what they said is that it's all about finding peace within. So it perfectly aligns with all of these energies that have been coming through as themes already, especially the last one with the water and flow and play, because we cannot be in flow and play if we're not at peace within. We cannot be at war with ourselves and be in a flow state and playful state. And so it's all about finding the peace within and really looking where we're still in this internal conflict, internal wars, where we're still like rejecting parts of ourselves or declaring them as wrong or bad, and alchemizing those aspects of ourselves back into light, like bringing love to those parts of ourselves so they can transform back into the light, back into their original essence, and stop being the demons within. Because all the demons you carry within you, the reason why they're demons is because they're parts of you that you have rejected and deemed unworthy. And as long as you reject them and deem them unworthy, they will be your inner demons. And you will continue being in conflict with them because they want to be acknowledged, they want to be loved, they want to be a part of you because they are a part of you. And when you reject them, you create the conflict, you create the inner war. And so it is all about like seeing those rejected parts of self, those suppressed parts of self, those inner demons, and like embracing them with love and with acceptance. And in that, they can then transform and alchemize back into what they really are. So, and that is where really big healing happens within ourselves on all levels, when we just embrace these aspects of ourselves with love and kindness, and then they can return to their original essence because they get distorted. When we reject them, they become distorted and they start becoming toxic because the healthy ways of trying to receive the love and attention that they need aren't working anymore. So they're developing toxic ways. It's it's kind of like a child when asking for the love that it needs isn't working anymore. It will develop toxic patterns, manipulative, for example, manipulative patterns to receive the love that it needs. And so the same is happening with those parts of ourselves. And so it's all about like reconnecting with our inner demons, with those rejected aspects within our own psyche, within our own being, within our own soul, within our own existence, and embrace them with love and like accept them and bring the caring and the love that they need so they can be alchemized and transformed back into their light and become part of us again, because every aspect of you is an aspect of you for a very good reason and is needed for your mission on this earth, for your purpose. And there is no aspect of you that is bad in its nature. Um, it just doesn't exist. All of you is needed. All of you is important. All of you is good and worthy and beautiful. And it is just through things that we have learned and were taught and experienced in our realities that we started thinking that aspects of us were wrong or bad or or not wanted in this world, and we started rejecting them ourselves. And so it's all about like bringing those aspects back and reaccepting them and like bringing the love to them that they need so they can be alchemized back into the love that we are and into the natural essence. And that will then also unlock the gifts that they carry, because maybe you have heard that before, but there is that saying that in our deepest darkness we find our greatest gifts. And that is so true, because the parts that we have rejected the most often carry very powerful gifts within them. And when we re-accept them and we bring the love to them that they need and we reintegrate them and transform them back into the light that they are, those gifts are being unlocked. And often we were taught to suppress those parts because of those powerful gifts, because that is where our greatest power lies. And we were raised in a culture and in a society where it was all about keeping oneself small and like giving power away, suppressing power, not having the power, like being powerless. This society, how it was so far, was all about being powerless. And being powerless is what seemingly was taught, that it kept people safe. Like that's how our parents learned to stay safe. They kept themselves small. They kept themselves feeling powerless, and that's how they were safe. As long as they were fitting into the system, they were safe. And so they might have given us those beliefs and those ideas and those feelings, but they're not true anymore. And so that's when we started suppressing our power, when we were taking on those ideas that keeping ourselves small, keeping ourselves powerless is what will keep us safe. So those aspects that carried our greatest power were rejected and suppressed and demonized within ourselves. We did that ourselves to make sure we stay powerless, to keep ourselves safe. And so it's not true anymore that we have to do that to be safe, not in this new earth that we're stepping into and that we're in right now already. And now it's time to bring all those aspects back. So reclaiming your power through integrating your inner demons with love and appreciation and acceptance is the big theme, or the big piece that will lead you to this inner peace that we were talking about. And in this process, let your heart guide the way. That divine love of your heart can really be the guiding light in this process of making peace within yourself. And you can really like connect with your heart and see the light of your heart space, and then let it show you where in your body you're still rejecting parts of yourself, where within your being, where within your field, where within your psyche, there's still a part that you're rejecting and where you're still like, in that sense, giving your power away or like suppressing your own power, and how to integrate that part. Let you the light of your heart really guide the way in that process. It's a really powerful way to like fast track the whole thing, so you don't need to be triggered from the outside world. That can be part of your story, and it's your journey, and that's a beautiful way to connect to parts of yourself that were lost along the way. But it doesn't have to be. You don't have to wait for the outside world to trigger you and show you which parts you're suppressing. You can really like make this a ritual, do it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, that you connect into your heart and let the light of your heart show you where you're still like carrying or rejecting parts of yourself, which parts of yourself are still being rejected, where you're still suppressing yourself and within yourself, and like have the light of your heart shine you the way to those aspects of yourself that you've been rejecting and that are ready to come home and be integrated and alchemized into the love that you are. Yeah, and so in that process, often what comes up is that when we integrate aspects of ourselves like that, we'll have to resolve certain aspects of our lives. There might be physical or tangible aspects in our reality that need to change as we reintegrate those pieces of our power. And so, really allowing yourself to like change your life accordingly and like make the necessary changes to really live within that power that you have reclaimed. And even if that means doing things you didn't expect to do, you didn't plan to do, and really be open to like taking the aligned action. And this is also where your heart can really help you and really show you the way, which thing it is that you need to do to make this reclamation of power tangible in your reality, and so that your reality can align with your physical reality, can quicker and faster align with your internal reality. And so really let your heart like show you there, and really learn to listen to this heart wisdom in which aligned action is needed to take for you to integrate your power reclamations and to really reconnect you with that eternal peace within your heart space and within your whole being. Because the truth is, you are eternal peace. And this is what this year is really all about. And in that theme of peace, it is about us remembering ourselves, not just as the light, but even more than that, as the peace that passeth all understanding. Because we are that peace. In our essence, we are that peace. And remembering it ourselves as such is super important in this time, as we see so much war going on in our reality, or in the 3D reality that many are still plugged into. Bringing in 5D consciousness on the deepest level possible means really aligning with the awareness that we are the peace that passeth no understanding. Embodying that and living from that space on a daily basis is what's going to ground it in a way that also the people and beings that are still in a lower frequency, that still for a while maybe still need to be in a lower frequency, to learn their lessons, the necessary lessons, can start to like at least receive to the degree that they can these peace frequencies and slowly align. So we are really like doing grid work and like doing very high frequency collective healing when we allow ourselves to return to the peace within and remember ourselves as the peace that passeth all understanding, as the eternal peace that we are. We are really doing like collective field work, healing work on a huge scale. And that doesn't mean you have to take on stuff from the collective. It means when you do your work and you embody it, that ripples out into the collective, and it creates healing in a collective without you needing to do anything. And so that is super important this year, that we really come back to that remembrance. And then there is one overall vibe for the year of 224 that I channeled, and that just it feels so aligned for me, like. And that is that this big death process that we were moving through the last 15 years is now finished. And we talked about it already before, but like we were going through the death of the old. We are shifting ages. We're moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. That is feelable on all levels. We are moving out of the Kali Yuga, of the darkest of ages, within the cycle of the 12 ages of the earth, that the earth is always moving through. And so we're moving out of those dark ages. And as we were doing that, we needed to purge. On a collective level, we needed to die to be reborn into this new age. And that's what we went through the last 15 years. We went through a death process. We went through a letting go of all these ideas and constructs and all these ways of being and all these fear-based realities that kept us locked into a 3D matrix while we were moving through the dark ages and through the age of Pisces. And so super powerful is also what we're experiencing on an astrological level, and this is something I want to like have a look at here, because it's just it just shows us this theme so clearly. Because Pluto, the planet Pluto, which is the lord of the underworld. So it rules our unconscious mind. So it rules our instincts. It rules our automatisms. It rules our subconscious. And so it also rules the way we relate to the world on an instinctual, unconscious basis from in a day-to-day life. And as we know, like about at least 95% of what we do on a daily basis and what we think, and like unless we train our minds to become more conscious and more aware, happens on an unconscious level. And so that's where Pluto That's defined by Pluto. And Pluto has been in Capricorn in the last 15 years, since 2008. And that's super meaningful because 2008 we had the first big financial crisis, the first big worldwide financial crisis happening, and that's when Pluto moved into Capricorn. And Pluto in Capricorn is all about the destruction of the old, the destruction of tangible power structures, of systems like finance system, health system, societal and cultural systems and institutions, really of those tangible realities. And that's what the process was the last 15 years. This was all about tearing all those structures apart. It's a huge death process. It's all about destroying those fear-based realities, and that's what we moved through in the last 15 years. And now, with the beginning of 2022, at 2024, I'm sorry, begins the rebirth on a collective scale with Pluto moving into Aquarius. And that's what happened at the beginning of this year. Pluto moved into Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about revolution. Aquarius is the rebel, the eccentric, the revolutionary. It's defined by Uranus energy, which brings really like um, lightning bolts revolution. Like it's bam and everything's different. And it's this creative energy, it's humanitarian, it's open minded, it's a bit eccentric, but not in the way of like just eccentric to be eccentric, but eccentric to be innovative, to bring in new ideas, new vibes, new energies, and like this very independent way, like energy in a good way, like independent but focused on the community and on the unity of all, like independent and in community. It's a free spirit that brings in the new, and it's really focusing us on developing an individuality that will serve the community. And so we are learning to be independent while being interdependent. And that's a super powerful energy that is coming through now. And it is focusing us on the rebirth. And so this aligns perfectly with the second theme that we had coming through, which is all about those new earth realities being perfed on a tangible level. And so this is what Pluto in Aquarius is leading us into. And yeah, this is the big rebirth, the age of Aquarius. I mean, I'm not telling you anything new. If you found your way to me, you know about the age of Aquarius. I'm sure about that. And but now it's really here. Like we've been preparing for the age of Aquarius the last years, and now it's here. Now it's really birthing. It's really here and it's feelable. And especially right now with the sun in Aquarius too, it's really strongly feelable. And yeah, we are bringing the unconscious, the subconscious realms on board with that. As Pluto moves into Aquarius, we're bringing even the last layers, the last unconscious layers up to the new level of this new earth frequency. Our unconscious is being aligned with this Aquarius energy, with this new age of Aquarius. And in that, 2024 brings a completely new energy, a completely new vibe into our reality and into our experience of life and our experience of the world. And we will see massive changes on an individual and collective level. And that can happen in our tangible realities, that can be internal, and we can experience it on all realities, on all levels of reality. And but most of all, we will see how on an unconscious level, on a subconscious level, those ways of being will change, and we will move so strongly and so much from living on a fear-based reality to living in a love-based reality. And that will be the strongest shift we will experience this year, that we will really move from an unconscious existence in fear to an unconscious existence in love. And it will still be a bit unconscious, there will still be existence in the unconscious, but it will be rooted in love. And that will be the huge difference. And yeah, that is it. That is the overall theme for 224. It is an 8 year, so 224. Put them together, you get 8. So that's a super supportive energy in this process. Nothing is a coincidence here. It's all coming together perfectly because 8 is the number of infinity and expansion and abundance. And so that is exactly what we're moving into with these energies this year. And so with that, I'm leaving it at that right now. If you feel you need any support in moving through and with these energies, I am offering my one-on-one sessions currently at a discounted price. You can check them out on my website. You can book a one-on-one session with me if you feel like you want some support, or if you want some long-term support, you are also able to book a mentorship for 6 weeks or 3 months currently with me, where you get long-term support, where we're going to align you with those frequencies, help you release that which doesn't serve you anymore, and to help you align with that that is ready for you to embrace and support you in living the best life that you can live and step into your next level. So I hope this serves. Leave me a comment below if you enjoyed this, or give me a like, or yeah, just send me an email if you want to share anything. If you want to share what resonated with you and what's been coming up for you, like I love reading your comments. I just love interacting with you in any way. So also if you want to just make it more personal and not maybe leave your reflection open for the public to read, you can always send me an email. All the links are down below. I love to read your reflections. I love to hear what you got from this episode. And yeah, with that said, I hope it serves. I will hear and see you, or better said, just hear you next time for the next episode of Soul Alchemy. And until then, I wish you a beautiful start into the year 224, and yeah, a beautiful rest of your day. Take care, loves.